Body of the former leader of COPE, Mosiuoa Lekota, is now on its way to his hometown of Bloemfontein in the Free State. Lekota passed away this morning after being ill for the past year. Funeral arrangements are yet to be confirmed. Newzroom Afrika's Scara Mafokoane is in Bloemfontein following developments there for us. Scara, good afternoon to you. Lekota did many things, played many roles during a long political career, achieving the nickname Terror as a football player, and then, of course, his student activism and his anti-apartheid activism, and at one point being the Premier of the Free State. What are people saying about him there?
Absolutely, Stephen. And, you know, in a short while, or in a couple of hours, that the body of Teboho Loate will be arriving here in Bloemfontein, where we are, his hometown, and a province he served as Premier between the years 1994 and 1996. But let's get more insight as to Teboho Loate, the anti-apartheid, activist, but also a friend to many here within COPE. And I now speak to Teboho Loate, who is the interim leader of COPE, but also a personal friend to Teboho Loate. But let's start here, Teboho Loate. The family is on the way right now with the body of Teboho Loate. You've been in contact with them. Any indication as to the arrangements in terms of funeral?
No, thank you so much. At the moment, there are no arrangements as such. But as you can see, the week is already done, and with the caliber of a person of Teboho Loate, obviously he needs a befitting farewell. So there's a lot that will have to be done in order to prepare for that farewell. So we are waiting for the family to have a discussion with them around what needs to be done. Once we have had that discussion, then I think everything will get into shape, and we'll start giving out messages as to what people should expect. But as I said, like now, it's a matter of waiting. Probably in the next week, the funeral can take place.
Together with any other events that may take place in between the funeral?
Yes, you should also remember that Teboho Loate has not only been a member of COPE or a leader of COPE. He was once a member of parliament, and at the highest level as a minister of defense. So it will only be correct for us also to interact with the presidency and parliament and find out what needs to be done in preparation for giving him the deserved send-off.
From COPE or from a family perspective, what were your wishes in terms of the conversation with the Premier and the President on a befitting funeral for Teboho Loate?
Look, the protocol as it is that normally with situations like this, the family has to write to the Premier, and the Premier then requests the President for the type of funeral. So that's the one from us as COPE is what we understand, but we need to sit down with the family and hear their views about what were they thinking, and then bring this thing in and have a discussion then moving forward.
Teboho Loate wasn't only a comrade to you, but also a friend. Tell us about those anecdotes, or which you share to this day with. I know you spoke to me about a conversation you had, or when you saw him last in hospital. What are some of those fond memories for you personally as Teboho Loate?
Well, look, the last time when I saw him in hospital, he was in coma. We didn't speak, but earlier to that, he was hospitalized, and when he came out, I went to see him at home. In our discussions, we were just talking and laughing. We were talking about drinking wine, taking a walk, because most of the time when he's here, I would go to him, we would sit around, obviously we wouldn't avoid talking politics, but most of the time we would talk about ourselves, talk about what we see, talk about our children. He was even here when my brother passed away. He came to see me. His daughter passed away some time back when he was still in KZN, and I was just out of college at that time. We went to the funeral, So it has been a long journey. It has been a long journey, and I have ultimately became a member of the family.
Yeah.
I've been through with his uncles and everybody else.
Yeah. I'm out of time, but just in 10 seconds or 20 seconds, he was the premier of the Free State. What are people saying about him here? I mean, it's still early in you know, he passed on this morning, it's still early, but what are people saying about him here?
Let me put it this way, that, you know, when you are still alive, people would see most of the time the wrong things and the bad things, you know, of what you say. When you are gone, then they start realizing the worthiness in you. And Ntate Lekota, when he was here, he was quite, he really fosters discipline and accountability. Yeah. If you recall, here, even with his members of the provincial cabinet, he would not hesitate to chase anyone away if that person is alleged that has been involved in any wrongdoing.
Ntate Loate, we still have some time with you. I'm afraid I'm out of time. And Stephen, that was Ntate Loate, who's the leader of COPE here, in national leader rather of COPE, as we wait for the body of Ntate Lekota to arrive here in Bloemfontein together with his family. Funeral arrangements are still being made, and we will give you an update as and when we have those details. Back to you, Stephen.
Scara Mafokoane, thanks very much indeed for that update.